There's the microphone. Welcome back, sleepyheads, to another episode of Sleepy Aliens Perspective. I'm your host, H. Lee, and tonight I also want to discuss something that made me sad. So, today is my Saturday. I didn't want to go into work, but I do work at a grocery store, so it is a lot more tempting to go to work on your weekend when you have a discount, a very significant discount on stuff you don't like to buy. But I went into work to get some tampons and some tea and some incense, and I go through one of my friends' checkout lanes, and she's talking to another one of my friends, and these are both my coworkers, and they're both kind of just like expressing how burnt out they are and unfulfilled they are. And I mean, this is something I think about every night because I've been pushing myself so hard in the past 3 years because I want to get to a space in my creative career where I can do that work full time, or where I can do the work that fulfills me and that excites me, and that is creative work. That's writing, that's music, that's videography, photography, that's just the things that I like to do, right? But the things that I've now put out there into the world, not just for my pleasure, but to build and establish career and gain an audience. But I really haven't seen any major traction. And the turtle wins the race. We know this. The tortoise is king. So I've gotten better at embracing the pace of growth and acknowledging the progress that I am making and being grateful for that as it comes in. I've definitely been really good about that. Some days more so than others. But I won't lie, the fear that I'll get stuck in a 9 to 5 for like longer than I can handle physically, longer than I can handle mentally, it triggers me. It triggers a sense of hopelessness inside of me, and it keeps me up at night, and it will make me cry in the middle of my work shift. It will make me not want to talk to customers. It like shuts me down internally because I so desperately do not want to feel that feeling of being stuck. And when you are trusting the universe, when you are deep in the unknown and dealing with the rawness of taking action and knowing that you're doing the things that are aligned with your higher self and you're on the right path, but you're not seeing any results of being on that path, and you want to have that breakthrough, it is a huge mental test. It is a huge test of trust and surrendering and having belief and confidence. And that's what I have been, you know, forced to heal inside of myself and develop and overcome. And so it's been a huge blessing. But I wanted to touch on the reality that the biggest, spiritual test of a 9 to 5 is knowing that you are not stuck there and having the belief that you can use your talents or skills or any interest you have to pull you out of that place and that state and bring you that personal fulfillment that you need. And for those of you who don't know, I've had the corporate office job where you're making a good amount of money and you have health insurance. And I was getting massages on my lunch break because I had access to that through my benefits. Like, I had it really good in my old job, but I had no personal fulfillment. I was utilizing it for the fact that I could get reduced tuition on grad school and health insurance, and I could get a car. And even at some point, I didn't know how to drive, so I was able to go to driving school. Like, it just gave me a lot of financial resources and opportunities to make positive changes in my life. So I've had that experience, but it was really soul sucking and it depressed me in a different way. Whereas my customer service, cashiering at a grocery store, it depresses me in the physical sense where I'm so physically tired all the time and it's hard to have a positive perception or just refocus that energy and not focus on the fact that you're so tired, but to remember that you're providing for yourself, you are able to be of service in some way. And I don't think of it like, let me bag your groceries and being of service. I think about the fact that as a cashier, I established a lot of meaningful and beautiful rapports with people that I don't even know their names half the time, but I've seen them twice a week for like the last almost 2 years now of my life. So it's kind of weird when you think about it, but I have these really beautiful connections that I make with strangers, like really beautiful connections where you both have this whole experience where you both are able to heal something or acknowledge something within yourselves and you kind of build this random bond with this person and it's a beautiful thing. Like I have a lot of those connections with people and I'm extremely grateful that I have the energy that allows me to attract that and I'm grateful that people respond to it and then I get to have that experience. So I know there's good things about my job that make tiredness not such a negative, dark thing. Um, but when I was hearing two of my friends, they're not just my coworkers, these are my friends talking about that, it made me sad. But because I've had conversations about what do you want to do? Like, how can you work on your skills or get into your goals? And they all know that I've been like everybody knows that I am obsessive about my career and I'm hyper focused on it because that's how I came into that job. I was trying to get my book published and I was like, yeah, I'm going to make it out. And that book publishing opportunity never came through and that didn't happen. And so people have seen me go through that depressive state and then sort of reinvigorate myself with new pathways to get into my creativity and enhance my skill set and to build an audience for my work. So they all know about my podcast and my Instagram for my writing and my blog and all that stuff. Um, but none of us have, I get so emotional when I talk about it, but none of us have that example of seeing one of us start something, go through the challenges of putting yourself out there and getting out of your comfort zone, but then also having a win and something working out, you know? And at first, like after I bought my tampons and I talked to my coworkers for a minute and I said goodbye, I was like, fuck, I feel really sad now. And that made me really sad that they're both struggling with that and ruminating through that. And it's something that I've trained, I have mantras when I go through that cycle because, like I said, I do have that fear of getting stuck sometimes or just being here longer than I think I can mentally or physically handle. And my job isn't awful. Like for most customer service jobs, it's a good place to work, and I have great coworkers that make it great. And like I said, I have great customer relationships that really make the workday easier, but at the same time, it's like this is still a customer service job and it doesn't fulfill me. And the amount of work that I have to do outside of work for my creative goals, it makes me burn at both ends of the candle. And it's put me into this weird, just emotional, exhausted, but I don't feel like I could stop because if I stop, then I'll have to acknowledge how stuck I feel. Yeah, really emotional talking about it. But I have to acknowledge how stuck I feel sometimes and how afraid I am. that the universe won't, or that I won't be in alignment to, you know, make peace with where I'm at and accept it and embrace it, but also continue just to have fun with my creativity and my art and not put all that pressure on it. I have this fear of not being able to stabilize that state of mind and falling into a state of mind where I'm just afraid and I'm anxious and I'm overworking myself out of fear and worry. So I've gone back and forth in those mindsets, but I have gotten better, especially now without weed, of stabilizing myself in that positive space. But I'm not gonna lie, that fear is kind of always there and it's in the back of my mind. So it just made me realize, and I just wanted to make a message about this, but the spiritual test of a 9 to 5 is not only being able to accept and embrace, that experience for what it is, but still being able to believe and to engage in the things that bring you fulfillment and to not let yourself fall into the mental trap of which the 9 to 5 is spiritually, because it can rob your soul of so much joy and your body of energy and, you know, your mind and your spirit of belief. It can just rob you of all of that. But being able to know that, you could still have a breakthrough with like your outside hobbies or whatever else you do on the side, you can still maintain that space of fulfillment. And there are people who like their 9 to 5 and their customer service job. But I guess I'm mainly talking to the entrepreneurs out there, the artists who are all doing something on the side. And the 9 to 5 is just truly that supplemental, helps me survive in this matrix, and particularly in America, right? Because there's other groups in society who don't feel this need to engage in, you know, the internal battle that comes along with a 9 to 5. You go to other countries on this planet and people know how to live without putting all that financial pressure on themselves or just this fear of being stuck in a dead end job or a dead end space. Like, they don't have that mindset. It's not an issue for them because their culture promotes different mentalities. But, American culture, the culture of dreams, and the culture where you don't keep up with the Joneses, but you keep up with the American standard of good living, and comfortable living, and just how much that forces you to work harder. It's just a lot. But the matrix trap is maintaining your belief, maintaining your joy, being able to stay in a mindset that allows you to embrace where you're at, but also know and trust that you can keep working towards something more in your life that can bring you more fulfillment, and that is going to come in for you, and trusting that it will come in for you. And this is something that I've been working on literally, I think, for the past 7 years. Because like I said, I was in an office where I was dealing with, that mental soul sucking depletion and tiredness. And now I'm back in customer service where I'm dealing with the physical aspect of that. So I'm still battling through that spiritual pit, but I know I'm on a good tipping edge to where I'm really just about to fly and I'm about to overcome this shit, because I've just gotten to that space of like, I'm not going to let this place take me down. I'm not going to let this matrix kill my belief in myself. I'm going to trust that as long as I keep working towards my goals and I don't have to exhaust myself, I don't have to force anything. I don't have to obsess about anything. It's going to come when it's meant to, and that's okay. And where I'm at now is okay. And the amount of money that I have right now is okay. I'm just going to be in that state where I'm trusting and knowing that it's going to get better. So I want to say to all of those people struggling with this spiritual aspect of the matrix pit, do not give up. Trust that your moment's going to come and you're going to have that breakthrough, and all of like the mental battle of being in the 9 to 5 and having to maintain your joy and belief and find balance with like your effort and still being in the present moment, and not being so future focused and obsessed. you know I just want to say that like it's going to happen for you, it's going to happen for me. We just have to maintain that patience and belief, and we just have to surrender to the flow of how everything's unfolding for us, and also to acknowledge the progress that you're making despite the fact that you still don't have the resources that you need, or the audience that you need, or the traction or money, or just whatever you feel is holding you back. Just know that those things aren't going to be in the way for much longer, and at some point things will get better. And it's scary to not know exactly when that day will come, but just you believing in it and knowing just makes all the difference. And like I said, trust me, I know that it's terrifying. Um, it's terrifying to not know exactly when that will come. But the tortoise wins the race, and be grateful for the strength that you're building, because maintaining that belief, joy, and acceptance, and the positive mindset that it takes to get through that spiritual battle of a 9 to 5, that is what you're instilling in your spiritual foundation. That's what's going to help you really build your career and not put yourself in a state where you're putting your morals at risk or selling yourself out, or just, I don't know, just risking and exhausting yourself in ways you don't have to. It's all going to come, and you don't have to force anything. You don't have to obsess about anything. Like everything is going to come as it's meant to, but just remembering that and trusting that, is a huge part of it. But this is just something I wanted to make a video about. I hope everyone's having a good night out there, and hang in there, everybody. Like, I totally get it. 9 to 5s are hard, especially when you're an artist and you are taking action and you're motivated, or you're an entrepreneur, just whatever it is that you're doing on the side, that you want to do full time and you're burning both ends. Just know that you're not alone out there, and know that the universe sees what you're doing, and know that you're being rewarded in strength and growth in your skills and growth in your trust and your belief in yourself. Like, that's all developing, and that's what that period is for in a positive sense. But don't let it fall into that negative sense where it's going to make you depressed, make you feel hopeless, make you, want to harm yourself or self destruct, or, you know, um, develop addictions or whatever it just may be. Just hang in there. It's going to get better. But sleepyheads, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for listening. Feel free to leave a comment and let me know what you think about that spiritual test of the 9 to 5 in the matrix, and how you get through it, and what your experience has been like overall. Let's have a conversation about it. But have a good night, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.